Hey there, everyone. We're back again. I was laying in bed, but now, obviously, we have news, and the NBA has had a shakeup here. But again, we have more breaking news, and this one centers around Brandon Ingram. And this is according to Chris Haynes. Breaking: New Orleans Pelicans are in advanced discussions to trade Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors. I hope you guys enjoy my passion and my continued resilience here in the situation here for Brandon Ingram. Obviously, we are back at it again for the third time today, which is insane. So Brandon Ingram could be a Raptor. And obviously the shakeup here is quite insane, but hopefully you guys do enjoy. It's been a crazy ride today. But again, I am extremely excited to be bringing everything to you that you possibly could want and more. So really appreciate you guys. Welcome everyone into the stream. And again, the news here from Chris Haynes. New Orleans Pelicans are in advanced talks to trade Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors. So here we are now waiting. The NBA, the league that never sleeps. Utility Sports when it comes to trade deadline coverage. This is an all-timer here from Aquino Asia. This is literally me right now. Oh my goodness. What a world. I was in bed, not anymore. Got up, put some clothes back on, got ready to talk some more trades. And as you can tell, I'm quite tired, but I am stoked because this is important news. And I think the Pelicans here, depending on what the package is, could be coming out pretty good here. Braun here says to get some sleep. Welcome everyone to the day, third stream of the day here. Brady, very excited. Richard says Brown and Boucher. Those are the salaries that make a ton of sense. Now, it'll be fascinating here. I think one of the big things, it will be extremely interesting to see if NOLA and Toronto include a third team into these talks. Feel like LAL, LAC, SAS, or others all could be in play for Boucher or a few other names from Toronto. I feel like Toronto has a lot of guys that would be valuable for a third team. Boucher, obviously, Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk's another name. Appreciate you guys a ton. Hopefully you are realizing how committed I am. Big J, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you in here. Crypto says you've been live all day. Go to bed. I have been live for over 11 hours today. Vita here says, let me guess, Jazz facilitating the deal. That's a great one there, Vita. Let's get some W's for Vita. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Let's get some W's for Vita and W for Aquino as well. You guys are absolutely epic. So appreciate you guys. Aquino obviously sent in this hilarious meme. The NBA, the league that never sleeps, Utility Sports when it comes to trade deadline coverage. Nothing but dedicated, but we are staying awake here for at least a little bit. Obviously, gonna sit here and wait for news. I kind of thought if nothing happens in the next half hour, I'm gonna go to bed. And of course, something had to happen. Bryce says you're a madman. Keep it up. We're trying our best here. Jake says bro is grinding. Appreciate the streams, man. Appreciate you. Ko-Fi here says this man doesn't sleep. I really don't. At least not today, it looks like. Things are going crazy right now, but I do appreciate you guys a ton. Obviously, a crazy possible outcome tonight with Brandon Ingram potentially being on the move. Remember, the Pelicans earlier today did salary dump Daniel Tice, so they do have a little bit of salary flexibility. Kamas here said, I just joined. What do you think could be the Lakers' involvement here? It would be something for Chris Boucher, maybe using Gabe Vincent's contract. Gabe Vincent makes $11 million. Maxi Kleber also makes $11 million. Either of those two guys could be technically involved in this, but we'll see. The GOAT says we're getting a sack of crawfish for Brandon Ingram, baby. Get the boiling pot out. We'll have to see what the ultimate return is here for Brandon Ingram. Again, I'm not expecting a huge package. My overall predictions for New Orleans coming into the trade deadline, if you go back to my trade deadline predictions video last week, I said that they'll get out of the tax and that they'll trade Brandon Ingram. It looks like they're at the point of doing both of those things. Welcome everyone to the stream. BXNI here wants to know if I think the Grizzlies will move Marcus Smart. I don't think that's a possibility, or I misspoke there. I don't think that's out of the question here at all. J-Bay says, bro, have you slept yet? This man is a psycho. I am. No, I've not slept, and I'm going to be up in like 6 hours for tomorrow. So I'm going to spend more time streaming than doing anything else this week, but that's okay. It's worth it. Hoju says, you're awesome, man. Let's go Raptors. Had to come through for you guys. I know you guys are going to want to see what's going on. Make sure you guys are tagging me in some news if there's anything. We're going to go over to Michael C. Grange. That's not what I wanted. Grange, here we go. Michael Grange, let's see what he's got saying. And fits in the sense that the Pelicans get some return for a player likely leaving as an unrestricted free agent without having to take on future salary. Raps get a low-cost look at a 27-year-old former All-Star. Personally, I'm not opposed. Here's the interesting wrinkle. Raptors and Pelicans have talked about an Ingram deal centered on Bruce Brown and Chris Boucher. Money works. Theory is Raps attach some kind of pick capital for Ingram's bird rights. We have spoken all week about Toronto having the monetary tools to get something done for BI. Now it comes down to if the Pelicans want to reroute Boucher and or Brown somewhere else in a deal, which again I think would be a huge positive outcome. It seems like right now with all the reporting that we're in the final stages here. Again, continue to tag me, guys, in anything that comes out as news. But again, this is the reason we went live again on the channel. Chris Haynes breaking: New Orleans Pelicans in advanced discussions to trade Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors. I appreciate you guys all a ton. Venom here says, Adam Silver said, oh, you guys aren't entertained. Here, hold my beer. 2025 NBA trade deadline. And yes, Zach, we're back. And I honestly, it's so late. Shit is a fine word to me right now. Aaron says, I said Bruce Brown, Boucher, and a pick swap. Yeah, it looks like we're going to do some form of pick capital. And probably I'm thinking of some small package of second-round picks. Overall, a small collection of deals or a small collection of picks in this deal. Here's from Will Guillory. Brandon Ingram is no longer on the Pelicans bench, was sitting there with his teammates during the first half. Thank you for tagging me in this. Obviously, big news there. Ingram, I mean, someone asked me earlier. Let's go look at the GIFs here. Let's see if I can find the one I'm looking for. This is literally if you guys know what I'm talking about here, that's this is when Harrison Barnes got traded. This is when Harrison Barnes got traded mid-game. Brandon Ingram is no longer on the Pelicans bench, was sitting there with his teammates during the first half. Now, probably not on the Pelicans anymore. Seems like he is going to be going to the Toronto Raptors. Hopefully, you guys do enjoy. Appreciate you all a ton. Bro, the NBA needs to call you for a GM job. If the GMs aren't sleeping, I'm not sleeping. That's the new catchphrase here at Utility Sports. GM's awake, I'm awake. They're destroying these teams with all these weird trades. Yeah, I'll talk about what I think about Brandon Ingram here in a little bit. I do have some overall thoughts on this, but producer Ryan says, what do you think of the Warriors Jimmy Butler trade? Everyone's roasting the Warriors, but I don't actually think it's that bad. I'm a Warriors fan, and none of these players except Wiggins were good for us. So I gave it a B-. I think Butler is easily the second best player on Golden State now. It's a significant talent upgrade at the very top, but you did sacrifice a decent deal of depth. And I also think the extension itself is bad. He's going to be paid like a top 5 player, and he is not a top 5 player, producer Ryan. But I understand your perspective on it as well. Harry says, bro, you're sleeping today. Thank you for streaming. Appreciate you. Zach says 30.7 thousand already. You always kill the trade deadline and draft. Yes, those are the big hot zone times, obviously. I appreciate you guys a ton. Your support is obviously incredible. And yeah, we're growing. We're growing really fast here. And we're almost, look at that, 3,800 followers over on Twitter. We are almost to 4,000 as well. Elstone says another stream. What a legend. Yes, we are going absolutely brazy. This trade deadline. Dustin here says even with Ingram trade still very far away from playoff contention. See, this is part of the concern I have here for Toronto as we continue to await actual news on when a deal comes to fruition or not. But again, it seems like the Pelicans will be trading Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors. Again, really appreciate you guys. Grip and Golf here says, you are crazy, man. Thanks. Appreciate you. Draft Point says, hey, man, your consistency in the deadline has been unmatched. Anyway, this can aggregate into the Jimmy trade, maybe part of the Kyle Anderson stuff. It theoretically could. This is a great point by Draft Point. So we're not going to include all of the teams, okay? But what I am going to do here, this is a great point. Draft Point, by the way, really great NBA draft coverage over on Twitter. You should go follow him. He's a real one. He's been in the chat for a long time for the streams, dating back before he was even labeled as the Draft Point. He's been an OG, but I really appreciate him. He's always been super supportive of me. So I'd love to use my platform to support him too. What we're going to do here is we're going to use Golden State, okay? In this deal, we're going to use Golden State. Golden State is we're going to use as the Kyle Anderson thing, okay? This is really Miami, okay? We're going to get Toronto in here. This is a great point from Draft Point, and a thing that realistically could come to fruition here. We're going to go grab the Pelicans, and we're going to get team number 4, which I think, let's say in this example, could be the Los Angeles Lakers. So in this deal here, what we could see happen now is since the Heat, so remember, the Warriors are technically the Heat here, okay? Since the Heat want expiring salary or almost no salary for Kyle Anderson, what we could see here is Kyle Anderson go to a team like the Pelicans in this. And now, since Kyle Anderson's got multiple years left on his deal, what would be more likely is we see a team like, for example, the Utah Jazz. Again, no surprise here, but the Jazz, their involvement being okay with taking an expiring contract would be a little bit more likely. Now, again, it's not necessarily for sure because you have Dennis Schroeder here. As you can tell, my brain's kind of running on fumes, guys. But I do appreciate you all a ton. So if you look at other teams that maybe could get involved in this kind of fashion, you'd have Brooklyn maybe as a spot, but Kyle Anderson to New Orleans could make some sense in this. And realistically, like Boucher could go to, remember the Warriors represent Miami here. So to Miami, and this again would open up long-term flexibility at the very worst for the Heat. This wouldn't help them with their tax bill this year, and technically right now they're a first apron team, so this trade wouldn't even be legal. It would be if they'd have to make it like a 7-team trade, but this is kind of like the beginning stages of what a deal would look like. So then in this too, Bruce Brown goes to the Pelicans, and then in here, obviously Ingram goes to Toronto. So if you're looking at the money here right now, we don't have this 4th team, but what you could do is include like some other small, tiny salary somewhere else, whether it be wherever, Miami, this, that, or the other thing, right? So that's kind of the idea here. Let's take the Heat out, but this kind of deal, again, it's going to say it doesn't work, but remember, it's not working because of the Warriors, which is not even meant to be the Warriors. It's meant to be the Heat. So this trade would work if you just pretend this is the Heat and that you factor it into the other big trade we've already seen tonight. The way that it gets reported is how things would actually come to fruition here. But okay, we've got news. This is exactly what we were just talking about. So luckily we're right on the right track, just like we kind of assumed here. But Chris Haynes with more news. Toronto would send Bruce Brown Jr. to New Orleans. So again, now it comes down to if the Pelicans are going to reroute some of these players. Does Bruce Brown find a home somewhere else? Could he get traded to a team that's a contender? Could he be sent to Memphis? Could he be sent to Los Angeles? Could he be sent to the Clippers? Could he be sent this, that, or the other place, right? Again, this is a really nice, valuable player. Knox says Sheldon's going to need an IV to recover and a pot of coffee to get going tomorrow. Yes, my IV is going to be Starbucks. I'm going to get Starbucks in the morning, hopefully. Thanks for the information, says Keen. Appreciate you guys. Here, Jay says, hey, Utility Sports, what do you think about Gabe, Cam Reddish, and Christian Wood in a first or second for Marcus Smart? I think if I was the Lakers, I'd stay away from Marcus Smart, and I would look for centers. That's really the big thing. Judith here says, Utility Sports, bro, get some sleep, buddy. I mean, we got news, so we got to cover the news. I appreciate you guys a ton. Obviously, thank you, your boy, for tagging me over here in the news as well. You guys have been absolutely awesome. That's a W for the chat, by the way. You guys have been so great. And Troy, we unfortunately did not reach the 200. Unfortunately, maybe I'll up the stakes tomorrow, and we'll give it another chance, Troy. Maybe we'll settle somewhere in the middle. My original goal was 300. We're a little bit over 100 right now, so maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle tomorrow and see if we can get that number up. Basketball Cat here says, why are you asking? Also, I'm a Hornets fan, so that's why I don't want him traded. It must be a conversation in the comments. But I appreciate you guys. The chat is super awesome. You guys have been doing great. Joseph says, come on, bro. They traded Khris for Kuzma. But yeah, Haynes is our source right now for all of this. Here we go. News from Brett Siegel. The framework of a Brandon Ingram Raptors trade being discussed earlier this evening revolved around Bruce Brown, Chris Boucher, and a first-round pick. Oh my goodness. I really hope it's not a first-round pick. Man. This reminds me of the deadline they traded for Pirtle. I don't get it. I really hope for their sake it's not a first round pick. Let's go look at our draft pick tracker here. Again, I really do appreciate you guys. Hopefully you are enjoying the streams as a collection of videos this year. Obviously way more streaming this year than ever before. But if it's a first round pick, my goodness. Dustin says, can't go wrong with Starbucks. Appreciate you again, Dustin. And again, get those W's in the chat here. You guys deserve them. You've been absolutely awesome. So I'm going to the Toronto Raptors. They have this Pacers top 4 protected, which is probably what I would guess it's going to be if This is funny. So I think it's going to be that Pacers pick if it's a pick. And here I have a point. Again, like when you start evaluating teams, you need to not care about the player and you need to care about the team. I don't care if Pirtle's been good. The team sucks. The team's not good in Toronto. And what they gave up later helped the Spurs get De'Aaron Fox. So you want to know who won that trade? It's not even close. The Toronto, if it is a first round pick in the deal for Brandon Ingram, I heavily suspect it would be Indiana's 2027 first round pick. Walker Kessler had a great night tonight, by the way, statistically, as the Jazz beat the Warriors. Warriors now at exactly 500, and here the Jazz win. Walker Kessler goes for 15-18 with 3 blocks. What a game from Walker Kessler tonight. Obviously, we're at a spot where the world's going crazy. I really think it's going to be Indiana's 2027 first-round pick, though. Up all night, that's what we're doing. I love seeing the W's fly in. Dustin and Robert, appreciate you guys. Mel says, what options are left for Phoenix to improve? We will talk about that here in just a minute. Carter says, what's up? Welcome to the stream, everybody. I do appreciate you guys a ton. Again, I'm going to throw the chat here into subscriber only mode. And I'm also going to turn on slow mode because slow mode is going to be on tomorrow. I'm going to set slow mode to 10 seconds right now, so it's not a big deal tonight because I'm not really overly worried. But tomorrow is going to be a big deal. So just so everyone knows exactly what to expect for tomorrow. That way you guys have some idea. Osborne, let's get some W's for Osborne in the chat. I want to see some W's fly in. Appreciate you, Osborne, a ton. $20 super chat. Thank you again. He says you're going to be the GM of the Bulls. Maybe someday. That's the hope, right? You guys are going to have to start pestering your teams to hire me. Again, team building, ideology, I think, is all about that. One of the most important things when it comes to building a roster and putting together pieces. It's not about how good each individual player is. It's about putting together a team that ultimately is good enough to win playoff series and win playoff games. But a lot of people are telling me to go to sleep. Appreciate you guys a ton. Again, Osborne, really do appreciate you. Let's keep those W's coming in for Osborne. He definitely deserves them here. Raptors having 3 6'9" wings is going to be lethal. The issue is they don't have a true point guard, and their team still is not very good. Like, they've fallen in love with player traits instead of team building, and you should fall in love with team building. So here we go. Atlanta analyst tag me in something from Sham Sharania. Here it is. Here's the deal. Wow. No Chris Boucher. Ultimately does become Kelly Olynyk. Wow. We have a deal. Here's the trade. The New Orleans Pelicans have traded Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors. I'll be giving my trade grades here very quickly. Come join the live stream if you guys haven't already. Obviously, you guys are all in here if you're listening to me right now, but telling Twitter to come join the live stream. Crazy. There is the trade. What do you guys think? I want to see your guys' thoughts before I share mine. Boom. There it is, says DWN. Dooman says, wow. Way more than a sack of crawfish, says the GOAT you heard. What a deal. Thank you, Atlanta analyst. Been watching the streams for so long. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely insane. Kino, I love these little gifts you're sending in here. This is so perfect. So I appreciate you guys a ton. We will see what happens. Obviously, a lot can change between now and then. Yes, this is 2026. Let me edit this. Yeah, I mistyped 2026 first round pick. Appreciate you guys all a ton. Obviously, a crazy trade. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying so far. There it is, Brandon Ingram. I'm glad I went live. 25 minutes in. There we have the trade. Pelicans really got that for BI. S. Antonio saying that's a horrible haul for New Orleans. We'll talk it through. I don't think so. Let's see what you guys are. Rich here saying depends what the picks are. Kieran says doesn't make sense for any team. B. Cook says Pelicans W. Fuzzy Simpleton says, and they said the new CBA would limit player movement. It hasn't so far, right? It's been crazy. High grade Pat says BI is terrible, not a winning player. B. Cruel says, not going to lie, that's pretty good value. They barely give up anything for BI. So even if this doesn't super work out, it's not a huge deal for them. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Chris Boucher has not been traded. The GOAT kind of has an idea of how I feel about it. King Nacho here says Toronto got fleeced. Jay Martin says Raptors useless. Tyler here saying C+ for the Raptors, B for the Pelicans. Pelicans moved on from BI way too late. Kev here saying, I'm not sleeping yet. I need to know if the Lakers will get a big man. The world is waiting. Braden Bell, I don't like the fit for Brandon Ingram. I'm gonna tweet it here now. I'm sorry. If you're a Raptors fan, I'm sorry. You're not gonna like what I'm about to say. The two most up and down, no plan franchises make a trade. These two teams don't have any plan. Neither team knows what they're trying to do. They don't have any clue at all. Pelicans are getting back the Pacers. Yep, like I guaranteed, like I said. Pelicans are getting back the Pacers 2026 first, like I promised. Again, that was pretty predictable. Yvonne, thank you for tagging me in that so that we could see the news. Again, first round pick and a second too. I'm going to be giving my trade grades here. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the draft pick tracker and we're going to give that little update. Again, this was predictable. This is the one I was hovering over. Let's grab that. We're going to remove that here from Toronto. Now the Raptors are net pick negative. 2026 first round pick. The Pelicans have the more favorable. Now they also have a Pelicans, or they now have a Pacers pick as well, which is really good for them. And then there's also going to be a second rounder. If we're waiting for the news on the second rounder, what is that second round pick? We'll see if a Vooch deal does happen. It, in fact, was the 2026 first via Indy. Here's the thing. I'm going to give my trade grades here. Let's go back over to Shams Charania. Again, we're going to do trade grades. Let's go back over. Sorry, I have to put it up on the screen. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying the stream. Really appreciate you guys a ton. Sheldon goes ouch mode on that trade grade. We'll see what it is here. S. Antonio says, if you think we could have flipped Brown, kill you, Olynyk into a better asset than Ingram, then I'm not sure what to tell you. That's not what I think. Again, though, that's not what you don't understand. You guys don't understand. Like, it doesn't matter what the individual asset is. It matters how good your team is. Your team, I don't know how you're going to get better. I don't know how you're ever going to be a playoff team. I don't know how you're going to be a playoff series winning team. Do you want to win a playoff series during Scottie Barnes' career? Yes or no? That's the question. If the answer is yes, you don't make random trades for players who don't fit your long-term plan. What is the long-term plan? You can't tell me, because instead of getting draft picks, instead of building a team, you've got RJ Barrett and you have Brandon Ingram. And you have Emmanuel quickly on a huge extension. The team is not good. You're going to be an apron team, by the way, next year. Like, have fun. Brandon Ingram is very good. He also plays 50 games a year. And, I mean, look at what happened to the Pelicans. The Pelicans haven't won. They've won 2 playoff games since getting him. NBA Mock Trade says, love it for the Pelicans, hate it for the Raptors. A lot to give up for a free agent to be who wants a massive contract. Again, the Raptors core is not really set. I mean, this is part of the problem. Your core is set. You're not any good. I mean, is that actually being set? Not really. You guys, my grades are not going to be very well received here, clearly. Raptors are far from competing. Masai's not trying to build a team. Masai's just trying to grab value. And the issue with grabbing value is now you're asked question to pay. My grades here, this is going to be very, very harsh. Pelicans get a D+. Raptors get a D+. Both of these are awful. Nothing makes sense with these two franchises. Pelicans trade picks and Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. 7 months ago to add DeJounte Murray to a core nucleus to later blow it up because they decided they can't pay everybody. They now end up pick negative in those 2 moves and have not advanced their team forward in any way toward winning. Like, the team is not better now. They're a draft team. They're a team that, if they get lucky in the draft, maybe they can get Cooper Flagg, right? Like, it's not good. All in all, though, They did get good value for a high-priced, soon-to-be UFA. Raptors D+. What's the team building plan? You're going to pay Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram and Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl to do what exactly? Finding value rather than building a cohesive team makes zero roster sense. At some point, winning needs to be the goal for the Raptors. And listen, I like some of the Raptors pieces. I do. I love Grady Dick. I like Scotty Barnes. I love Scotty Barnes. Garrett here says, I guess we can't sleep tonight. Thank you for the 5. I just don't see it for either team. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it for either team. The whole, like, you know, I'm kind of maybe being harsh on the Pelicans. Like, they got good value. They got really good value for him. But their collection of moves, their collection of decisions make no sense. Like, why would you trade for DeJounte Murray if you decided you don't want to pay people and you don't want to keep Brandon Ingram? They could have just kept all the picks, not traded for DeJounte Murray, and then just kept Brandon Ingram and been the same team anyway. Like, none of this makes any sense. Obviously, DeJounte getting hurt is a big deal. They wanted a point guard, whatever. Like, this is stupid. The whole thing is stupid for New Orleans. And when you look at Toronto, again, like, just none of this makes sense. Like, none of this makes sense at all. Just so we're aware too. Like, I think this is important that we do. So we're gonna go. We haven't done this yet all week long, but I think this is the time to finally do it. We're going to a cap table. Quickley makes $32.5 million next year. RJ Barrett makes $27.8 million next year. Jakob Poeltl makes $19.5 million next year. Then you have Scotty Barnes makes $38.661 million next year. This is stupid. This doesn't make any sense. This is just brutal. These two teams don't have any plan. They don't know what they're doing. The Raptors have, we're going to do the math on these numbers here. Let's put these numbers together. 32.5 plus, let me zoom in on it here. 32.5 plus 27.7 plus 19.5 plus 38.66. This doesn't make any sense. The Raptors have $118.36 million committed to Quickley, Barnes, Barrett, and Poeltl next season. Ingram extension would bury this team financially moving forward. This is awful. Like, this doesn't make any sense for the Raptors. It really doesn't. The answer isn't win a playoff series. This team is never going to go toward play. This is Toronto saying that they think that their fans are fine with whatever and that they'll buy tickets here. Like, I just don't understand it. I just don't love it. I just don't see it. Okay? I really don't. I don't get it. None of this makes any sense to me. And for the Pelicans, again, why trade for DeJounte Murray if you're not going to commit to paying anybody? This is just awful. I think the Raptors have a lot of talent, but where are they going? Does the team fit together? That's the question. Like, I mean, why are the Suns not? The Suns have way more talent than the Raptors. The Suns have freaking Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and their team sucks. Like, again, it has to be fit. It has to be fit. And the team doesn't fit. I mean, Mike, yes, but at the same time, like, it would just be better if they had a natural collection of young pieces. You look at the teams that have worked really well building internally. Memphis drafted pretty much their whole team, drafted and developed. And the sad thing, I think Masai Ujiri drafts pretty well. Like, Jacoby Walter might have been a good pick. Grady Dick, good pick. Scotty Barnes was a great pick. Like, he drafts well. Just draft. You don't have to trade for all these guys. Donald here saying Pelicans fan here, Raptors got fleeced. And here's the thing. I think the Pelicans did really well in this individual trade. I should add this. They just aren't building to win. I just don't get it. Yeah, this team is 16-35. They're 16-35, and they traded for Brandon Ingram here. So, again, just not a great trade, in my opinion. I appreciate you guys all being in here. Twin Cloud says it's only like half the team has been. I mean, how many years in a row do they need to be bad? How many years in a row do they need to be bad? Trade equals back to the lottery. I mean, they were going to be in the lottery either way. Like, both of these teams are lottery teams. Patrick Williams here says they advanced their team forward. From what? The 12 seed to the 11 seed? Again, you should be taking steps to try and make the playoffs and win playoff series. Like, not every... Chad here says trade Zion and McCollum at this point. Honestly, that would be like New Orleans ways to actually figure out a plan and schedule. But fire David Griffin first. Griffin Golf here says you're probably going to be the one to break the news when Bronny gets traded when he's 27 years old. Keep it up. Yeah, probably. We'll see what happens. But I love Grady Dick too. Here says Chung. Grady Dick's awesome. Like, it's not. I don't want Raptors fans are going to say I'm hating. I want the Raptors to be good. You know how awesome it was in 2019 when Toronto won? I want basketball to be a global game. I want basketball to be celebrated everywhere. I want Canada to love basketball. I want Toronto to love basketball. I want the Raptors to have a good team. I just don't think this is a good step for a good team. He's a good player. Brandon Ingram is an awesome player. But Brandon Ingram would be a lot more sweet in Milwaukee as a third guy next to Giannis and Dame who do different things. He's a little redundant with this roster. I don't really see the overall fit. And I think New Orleans did good in this trade individually. If I forgot everything that happened 6 months ago and I only had a memory from the beginning of this season to now, I would say, oh, this is genius. This is really good for New Orleans. But the issue is I do have a brain and I do remember that stuff. And I remember, 7-8 months ago, they traded for DeJounte Murray and they gave up 2 picks and they gave up Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. Why the hell would you do that if the plan wasn't to keep the team together? Like, none of this makes any sense. Like, none of it makes any sense. It's not good for either team. Both teams are stupid, in my opinion. Again, I say this from a place where I do care about you guys a ton. Like, Mason says, how are you still alive after today? We are chilling. We are doing our best that we possibly can. Appreciate you guys a ton. Dan here says, I've never heard of him. I'm not sure who you're talking to, Dan, but Albert Einstein says, Grizzly have expiring mid-level exception and ton of assets. Young players, expiring deals. Marcus Smart's one of their biggest contracts to trade with, too. Mohammed said, like I said, are they going to do a sign and trade with Ingram because it doesn't make sense to offer him a contract? Well, so then if you're signing and trading him, why would you give up a first-round pick to do it? Just let New Orleans figure that crap out, right? They involve themselves here. Again, Brandon Ingram is a good player. just bad. It's a bad trade. It's a bad trade for both teams, honestly. Like, I don't understand it. And again, it just stems from this. They have $119 million committed to 4 players, and then now they just traded for a guy they're going to have to pay. This is crazy. Jimmy Pope saying the front office wants to compete next year. That's why Pirtle is staying. I mean, yes, you want to compete. Is this team good enough to compete? Who are they better than that they're not better than right now? Like, you realize the Pelicans are the 14th seed in the West, right? Like, the Pelicans have not been good. Brandon Ingram has been hurt. Like, let's just look at something real quick. Here is Brandon Ingram's games played by year since getting to New Orleans. 62, 61, 55, 45, 64, 18. He has played 70 games one time in his career. It was his rookie season. Since then, he's played over 60 games 3 times outside of his rookie year for his entire career. Brandon Ingram's really good. He's going to miss 25 games, and he's not going to help you win a playoff series or even get close to doing that at all. So, Gian Ashley here says, what's next for Golden State? I think for Golden State specifically, the thing that's next for them is replenishing depth by making some signings probably. I mean, this is the second time in a row. Matthew here says this definitely feels like a trade just to do a trade. Doesn't really make sense for either. It's just a trade to do a trade. It doesn't make sense. Ryan here says their coach also thinks Scotty's the best player in the league. Raptors make weird trades. They just happen to win. Like the Kawhi thing. Well, that's the thing. It was such a smart trade because they actually had a great team and they needed to get over the hump. That was such a smart trade. Like, getting Kawhi was such a good calculated risk. It was like, at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, Masai Ujiri might be the best GM in all of sports. And since then, I've been completely disappointed in almost everything he does other than it's gonna be bad. That's not gonna be good. Brandon Ingram is a very good player. Toronto Raptors didn't get any closer to winning a playoff series. I just don't understand it. Like, again, and now you're gonna have fans talking themselves into 2026. Since when has a first round pick not mattered? Okay, yeah, you might miss in the draft. Like, what? If you think that a pick doesn't matter to your GM, you need a new GM. Leaky says, how many more trades do you think are going to happen at this point from this point on tonight? Probably no more trades tonight, honestly. I do think there will be some trades tomorrow. And here we go. Let's go over to Bobby Marks. This is exactly my point why. Ingram is eligible to sign a 3-year, $144 million extension with Toronto up until 6/30. Oh, my God. This is so bad. That's $48 million a year, by the way. It's just not good. This isn't good. $48 million a year is insane. If he signs that, oh my goodness. Zach says this isn't going to get the level of hate that Nico got for obvious reasons, but there is just no. I mean, like, right? What is Toronto trying to do? Make the play-in? I don't know. 24 seconds here says, how would you feel about Terrence Mann for Portis or Pat Connaughton? For Portis would move me. For maybe both teams, but specifically for the Clippers, I would like that quite a bit. Raptors are sentenced to NBA purgatory. Like this again, I said the same thing when they traded for Jakob Poeltl, and Raptors fans hated me for that too. They said, "Oh, you're stupid. We needed a center. You needed a stretch center. You need someone who could space the floor." I just want to point out, like, here's what a smart team does. Boston traded Marcus Smart and got 2 first-round picks and Porzingis. That's a smart team. Toronto traded a first-round pick, which ended up being pick number 8, for Jakob Poeltl. Toronto could have been the team to get Porzingis. Like, there's a bunch of teams that could have been the team to get Porzingis. Washington was going to dump him wherever. Like, Dallas literally salary dumped him to Washington. Like, could have been Toronto. It just could have been Toronto. And now instead of getting that, Porzingis who plays 60 games a year and everyone hates, they get Brandon Ingram who plays 60 games a year and everyone loves. It is insane to me. NBA Mock Trade says, I think you're overreacting on the Pelicans. I think their plan all along was to trade Ingram, and it just took much longer than they thought. I mean, again, though, like, you're coming out pick negative in that, and now you don't also have Dyson Daniels. Like, it's just, again, I don't think the collection of trades, and I thought the DeJounte Murray trade was fine, but if your plan is to get rid of Ingram, like, why is Ingram not a part of the trade? Like, Atlanta reportedly wanted Ingram. Just trade Ingram for DeJounte Murray and do something small. Like, it's insane. It's honestly insane. SP here says Jacoby Walter might be a two-way star. And I don't think he'll be a two-way star, but I think he's a good young player. I like Jacoby Walter a bit. Zach here says Raptors trade Pascal seemingly in a directional move towards tanking. Well, and so here's the thing. Like, this is honestly, we're gonna go on a little bit of a trip here, because I think it's essential. Masai Ujiri's collection of moves in order, and I'm gonna find the date that I want for this, but let's pull up Raptors trade history. So what we have here today: trade 1 first, 1 second, Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk for Brandon Ingram. What we also have in here is trade OG Anunoby for RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly. We have trade Pascal Siakam for Bruce Brown. I'm going to have to pull up the overall collection of trades, but again, this is just insane what we're doing here. Like, some of this stuff just doesn't make any sense. Trade Dennis Schroeder. This is what he's been doing. Okay, this is, I think, very important to note. Trade 2024 first and Otto Porter Jr. and Kyra Lewis Jr. for Ochai Agbaji and Kelly Olynyk. Again, like, this stuff is just insane what we're seeing here. This is... Traded 2024 first for Jakob Poeltl. Like, this collection of moves is just disgusting overall. This is... None of this makes any sense. Like, you look at this collection of trades and it's just awful. Again, no, I don't think that's okay. I don't. Again, are you trying to get an okay? Are you trying to get a good player? Or are you trying to win games? Are you trying to win? That's the question. Here's what Masai Ujiri's done, and this is exactly my point. You tell me if this collection of trades makes sense. This is since February 9th, 2023, by the way. So this is within 2 years. He traded a first, a second, and Khem Birch for Jakob Poeltl. The team missed the playoffs. In fact, that pick, and it was supposed to be a 2023 first. It was top 6 protected. Didn't even convey because they were bad. Then they trade OG Anunoby the next year. So, like, talking 7 months or, 1 year after trading for Jakob Poeltl, they decide, we actually kind of suck. Not even a year. It's like 10 months when they traded OG. So it was in December. They trade OG Anunoby for RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly. Okay. This is just something else. Trade Pascal Siakam for Bruce Brown 2 first and a 2026 first. Then they trade one of the 2024 firsts that they got for Otto Porter Jr. and Kyra Lewis Jr. for Ochai Agbaji, Kelly Olynyk, who now Kelly Olynyk is no longer on the team. They then trade Dennis Schroeder and Thad Young for Spencer Dinwiddie. Schroeder later gets traded for draft picks. Trade 1 first, 1 second, Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk for Brandon Ingram. None of this makes any sense. They went from OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam and their own picks to having other teams' picks from, like, worst picks and not having their own pick in 2024 and having these players that have led them to a terrible record. It just doesn't make any sense. This is not, there is no cohesion between any of these moves. Like, when Boston was like smart and was like, we're going to get Derek White because our team is getting ready to win. We need a stretch big to fit our team. Kristaps Porzingis. The smart teams build together. Nothing Toronto has done has been together in any way. This is just, like, it's honestly insane. This whole collection of trades for Masai Ujiri is awful. This is awful, what we're seeing here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. Again, I will be live tomorrow morning. Adrian says I bet tomorrow morning there will be a lot of trades. Appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you again for all tuning in here. Obviously, been a lot of fun. Make sure you guys smash that like button on the stream today. I've been live a ton today, so I am a little bit tired, maybe a little bit upset at this Toronto Raptors trade too, honestly. But I hope you guys have enjoyed so far. Again, not going to stay live for too much longer. Let's take a look over at the subscriber count. We are just 172 subscribers away. Carl here says, bro, grinding real hard, deserves more subs. Appreciate you, Carl. You guys heard him. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. Well, yeah, Ingram's not going to sign a max, like probably not. But even if he's $37 million, I mean, like, you're paying $150 million for a starting lineup. You might as well be Boston. Like, Zach says they saw the Purgatory Pacers team for the Brogdon and Turbonis days and decided that's what they wanted. Yeah, it's literally like, imagine if Indiana just stuck with that. Imagine if Indiana was like, yeah, actually, we want Brandon Ingram with Malcolm Brogdon and Miles Turner and Sabonis. Would that team be any good? No. Like, that's the exact problem here that I see. S. Antonio, it always sounds fun to have a whole bunch of 6'9" forwards. You don't have a point guard. You don't have a point guard. You are like one of the few teams that doesn't have a point guard. And I don't want to hear the whole Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is not a point guard. He's a power forward. Dustin here says, I hate to say it, Raptors lose their mind ever since their title run downhill. I mean, yeah, they've lost a lot of guys to free agency. They let Van Vliet go. They lose Kyle Lowry at the time. Is Brandon Ingram the best Brandon to ever play in the NBA? Brandon Roy is better than Brandon Ingram for sure. B. Cruel says, I know it's not 100% confirmed yet, but can you edit the titles to say that Ingram did indeed get traded? Yes. Raptors trade for Brandon Ingram. Again, I don't think this makes any sense. Honestly, the whole collection doesn't make sense for anybody. This is why the Pelicans are not good. This is why the two teams that made this trade are not good. But Brandon, appreciate you a ton. Adrian says if De'Aaron Fox was with the Spurs since the beginning, the Spurs would be a top 5 team in the West. Maybe. Decent chance of that. But notice how, like, again, San Antonio is a team that's smart. They have their team built. They have a bunch of guys that are like, oh, we really need a point guard. They went and got De'Aaron Fox. Like, I would have loved De'Aaron Fox for Toronto. That would have been sweet. Say here says, do you think the Chicago Bulls will do something tomorrow or just stay put? Vucevic will be the big thing. Zach here says something about my full government name being on the screen for that long made me want to take out my name. Okay, Zach. Dirty here says I'm old enough to remember when it was said Cam Johnson would be the biggest player dealt this deadline. It's been a crazy deadline, has it not? I don't think anyone would have thought Luka Doncic would get traded. Adrian here says worst GM is Mavs GM. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people would agree with that right now too. Again, you guys know I am not quick to, or I'm not slow to pass judgment on Dallas's GM if he does something I disagree with. Keon James says they shipping everybody but Chris Boucher. Probably extend Chris Boucher at this rate. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit. Wow. Holy shit. We got to go over to, we got a huge trade. A huge trade. Oh my goodness. What the hell? Holy cow. Los Angeles Lakers are trading Dalton, Knecht, Cam Reddish, a 2031 first-round pick unprotected, and 2030 pick swap to the Charlotte Hornets for center Mark Williams. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Holy shambomb. I've got to update this right now. Oh, my goodness. What a trade we've got here. What a bit of news. Definitely league-altering news here. Crazy. Dalton Knecht on the move to Charlotte. Absolutely insane. I did not see that coming at all. But obviously, huge ramifications from the Luka Doncic trade. That is massive news. Absolutely massive news. And again, that changes things a lot here. Welcome, everyone, to the stream. Really do appreciate you guys being in here. Lakers trade Dalton Knecht to Hornets. Wow. Absolutely crazy. Was not expecting that at all, but here we are nonetheless. I will be giving my grades on that here in just a second. Make sure you guys do stay tuned for those. Again, smash that like button if you guys are enjoying. Crazy news tonight. Obviously, some huge news here. Dalton Knecht and Mark Williams both being moved, of course, shakes things up quite a bit here as well. So I hope you guys really are enjoying the stream. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are. Again, I'm just working on updating my graphics here because that is absolutely insane, and I did not see that coming. But that is quite the get for the Los Angeles Lakers at the center spot. Mark Williams. Now, there have been concerns about him being able to stay healthy, but this is a real tremendous get for them. And I'm honestly very surprised to see Charlotte be willing to trade him in a deal. But again, this shakes everything up. Absolutely shakes everything up. I appreciate you guys a ton in here. Crazy trade, crazy trade. Oh my goodness. What a change of events here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Appreciate you all for watching, and wow. So let's talk it through here. Los Angeles Lakers are trading Dalton, Knecht, Cam Reddish, a 2031 unprotected first-round pick and 2030 pick swap to the Charlotte Hornets for center Mark Williams, which is absolutely crazy. Appreciate you guys all a ton. Absolutely insane stuff here. But again, Lakers are trading for a rising 7'2" center, giving the franchise a starting center in Williams who fits the profile of athleticism and verticality that has flourished with Luka Doncic. Hornets land a rookie in Knecht they are excited about and draft capital. This is a huge trade. This is a huge trade. Wow. This is a huge trade. Trade grades coming now. Hornets, Lakers. I'm going to give the Hornets here an A-, an A. I'm going to give the Hornets an A. I'm going to give the Lakers an A. Significant risk here for the Lakers, given Mark Williams' early career injury troubles. But this has enormous upside. A 9'9" standing reach and incredible athletic tools makes Williams an awesome fit with Luka long term. Hornets A take a significant step back currently as they abandon the possible franchise center, but get significant capital in return. Knecht is an awesome rookie who fits with Charles Lee's system and future capital to go along with 2027 firsts via Dallas and Miami already. The Hornets are trying to stack up on draft assets. This is a huge trade. Nemanja here saying Hornets robbed the Lakers. I don't know about that. Mark Williams is really darn good at basketball. Mark Williams is really, really good. On the season, in just 25 minutes, Mark Williams is averaging 16 points a game and 10 boards, 2.5 assists. He is really darn good. He's shooting 77% from the line. His true shooting percentage is 64%. I mean, this is an awesome player. This is a really awesome player. Now you're going to put him with Luka Doncic. He's averaging 2.4 blocks per 100 possessions, 1.2 blocks per game. He's been really quite good this season. Exactly. This is exactly the reason too. Hornets are loaded with draft picks. That was a huge trade. That was an absolutely huge trade. Thank God we were live for that. That is incredible what just went down. Obviously, the Los Angeles Lakers get their center. I don't think the Lakers got fleeced. If he stays healthy, it's a home run. But again, that's a big risk. That is a huge risk. King Nacho here says Mark Williams this good. Mark Williams is really good. When he's been on the floor, he's been awesome this season for Charlotte. I think Charlotte takes a significant step back. Hornets fans should be extremely excited, though. They have a ton of draft picks. Let's go over to the draft pick tracker here now. Again, this is my handmade trade deadline draft pick tracker for you guys. Let's go over to the Lakers specifically. You're going to see what the situation is now. They no longer have this pick. And they owe swap option to Hornets here. So then if we go up to the Hornets, in 2030, they now have more favorable of Hornets, Lakers, and they have the Lakers unprotected 2031 first round pick. The upside is here long term for Charlotte for sure. Getting future draft capital. This is a very, very strong trade for the Charlotte Hornets, and what is kind of pointing to the future of this Hornets organization, which is possibly very smart. Now, I know they're not winning games yet, but what have they been doing? They have been stacking assets. They have 2029 second-round picks from themselves, Denver and Phoenix. They have 2031 firsts of their own and Lakers. They have more favorable of Hornets Lakers in 2030. Let's go to 2027. They have their own first. They have the Heat lottery protected, which becomes unprotected in 2028. They have this Mavericks top 2 protected pick as well in 2027. They have been betting against other teams, betting at some point they will have a collection of draft picks. And, Jay Martin here makes a great point too. The Hornets are in position here to maybe get a center in this draft. Could be Kamen Malawash, who is fantastic. Kamen Malawash could be a really, really fun center for them going forward. But Gravis here says, new to your channel, really enjoying your content. Great job. Appreciate you a ton, Gravis. I'm glad to have you in here. But this is a balanced trade. Mark Williams comparison. He's huge. 7'2", and he has a 9'9" standing reach, and he blocks shots really, really effectively, and he dunks at the rim. He's going to be like Lively. He's going to play the way that Lively played. Now, the short roll game is not quite as good as Lively, but Mark is really good. Brian says Knecht is nice, but unless his defense improves a lot, Williams is a more valuable player by far. That's exactly how I feel. What Brian's saying here is what I believe. I think it's a really good trade for both sides. Like I said, I gave it an A for both parties here. There's risk involved for both teams. There is. The risk here for both sides. Let me significant risk for both sides. Hornets. Do they now find a franchise replacement center? Lakers, does Mark Williams stay healthy? If the answer to that is no, the Lakers will lose the trade. But if he stays healthy, I think the Lakers would win the trade. This is a fascinating trade. Luka going from one Duke big man to another. Yeah, this is exactly the archetype too, right? Like draft point will know this is exactly what makes sense. Dylan here, thank you for the 2, says, do you think the Warriors make any other move? They have to sign players at the very least. They have to fill out their rotation. So let's go over to StatMuse real quick. StatMuse has the lineup here. Here's the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Mark Williams. What a starting 5, huh? Luka and LeBron, Reeves. Justin here says, I still think the Hornets, take the swing for Zion. That would be a lot of fun too. If the Hornets did push for a Zion Williamson trade, that would be awesome. I don't ultimately think that's good. That'll happen. Mark Williams is not that good, says Boss. I mean, he's been really productive this year. Here's it. You want to hear his on-off numbers too? Here's when he's on the court. This is for this season only. Let me see if I can find it for his whole career. I think Mark Williams is really darn good. He's averaging a career high in points, career high in rebounds, basically, career high in blocks. He's going to be really awesome with Luka Doncic. I really do think so. This is a big gamble. It is a big trade. Welcome everyone to the stream. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. Remember, I'm going to be live tomorrow as well. He had like 37 or something a couple of weeks ago. Mark is really good if he has someone creating for him. Perfect big for Luka. That's the exact point. It's a fit. Clutcher says the Miles Turner to LA Mox can stop now. Thank God. This has been an amazing deadline. What an amazing deadline, guys. What an amazing NBA trade deadline. We've had so many moves. Brandon Ingram moved. Luka Doncic moved. I mean, what? That's insane. Jimmy Butler traded. De'Aaron Fox traded. Oh, my gosh. And we still have a lot more stuff that could, in theory, happen tomorrow, too. This is insane. This was an insane trade. I'm sorry, guys. I was a couple minutes late to it. Even you guys were awesome for trying to dial me into it. But wow, absolutely insane. That's going to happen maybe once or twice tomorrow too. Obviously, we're going to be trying to stay on Twitter as much as possible. You guys do a great job tagging, but it's been a great NBA trade deadline. It's going to be a great NBA trade deadline. So. Ooh, a lot of craziness. A lot of craziness. One of the upsides here for the Hornets, too, is if Luka doesn't stay in LA, the Lakers' future would be very, very, very bleak. But I do think he will. Galici here says that 2031 pick, even if Luka stays in LA, would be at the end of his extension. Also, Galici, that depends. If he does a 2+1, then he would technically not be. He would have, another year or so. We'll see what happens, but I think Luka staying in LA is very possible. But like I was saying, I also think it's like a realistic situation here that it works out pretty well for LA. This is what I'm talking about here. This is Mark Williams this season with with LaMelo. 17.3 points, 10.4 rebounds, 60% from the floor. They got all the tools here with Mark Williams. That's a really, really fun trade. That's a really fun trade. This is a risky. We don't see trades like this. Like, Mark reminds me of a center that played for the Lakers. Andrew, are you talking Bynum? Crypto here says, what did the Lakers do? Of course, talking about this trade. Obviously, crazy trade deadline here, guys. Crazy trade deadline. I do think I'm going to be calling it here pretty soon. Jack City says, how on earth am I seeing you every time I refresh my YouTube stream? Because I am streaming all day, every day, it seems like now. Ben Tate says, get some sleep, dog. We appreciate you, but tomorrow's going to be insane. Don't run yourself into the ground. Don't worry, I'm going to be chilling. Make sure you guys do leave a like on the stream. I would really greatly appreciate that. So make sure to smash that like button. We're 2 likes away from 300. We're at 298 likes right now. So everyone go smash that like button. Right now, Benji Film says, where do you rank the Lakers now after all these trades? The trade for Luka and now Mark Williams. I think we should wait for the dust to settle. I'm going to be doing a winners and losers video tomorrow after the trade deadline passes as well. So I think the Lakers have definitely changed the course of their franchise. We'll see. Shiyuki here says, Robert Williams, you are a rocket. Jim Riley says, dude, nobody grinds the NBA trade deadline like Utility Sports. Jim Riley, appreciate you, my guy, over at Ballcap Sports. I appreciate you a ton. Joe says, I watch every Hornets game. He's been lazy on defense, incredible on offense. Has some plays where he reaches over dudes to tip his miss back in. He's really good playing when LaMelo isn't. I think the one thing here, too, is being in LA, like, you might get a better effort and defensive attention to detail. He's also still young. So I think one of the biggest things is just staying on the court and staying healthy. So Chung here says, Sheldon, you can do an all-nighter. Yeah, probably not tonight, guys. Probably no all-nighter tonight. But what a great trade deadline, huh? Absolutely insane. Luka Doncic is probably happy. Tyler here says, who do the Hornets even start at center now? As I don't know. And this is one of the risks for the Hornets too. I talk about this being a risk trade. If the Hornets don't find the franchise center after this is going to come back and look terrible for them possibly. So we'll see. But they have the common Malawash. There's a bunch of different guys, right? SP says, can you see any way for the Raptors to get Outstar Thompson? No, not really. At this point, they're kind of all in on their current team, the way they're built. Claxton should go to Atlanta or LA. I would love for Nick Claxton to go to LA or to Atlanta. These two guys are the guys that could help build the team there in Atlanta. You walk out of this trade deadline with both of those guys, and Atlanta's an actual dangerous team. Really appreciate you guys. Hopefully you are enjoying the stream. Obviously, I'm not going to stay live for too much longer, but we have 2,000 people watching live, which is crazy, crazy, crazy. Scoop says Rob was like, we kept AD off the bench. We can keep him off too. I mean, true. Yeah, they did keep Anthony Davis healthy. That's a good point. Boss here says, how do you have a 9'9" standing reach and only 1.1 blocks? He only plays 20. He's only been playing 25 minutes a game since coming back from injury. He's averaging over a block in 25 minutes. That's pretty dang good. He's averaging like 1.8 blocks per 36 almost. So Brian here says Kessler is a more flawed and less mobile player than Williams. Lakers target the right guy, assuming health. Exactly. Brian's thoughts on this have been exactly what I agree with as well. I think don't get me wrong, there's risk, and I think Brian is kind of pointing to that too. If you don't assume health, then that's where it gets a little scary, because this is not only draft picks and an okay young player in Dalton Knecht that would have been fun with Luka as a movement shooter off of him, but the risk here is also that you've now traded the picks you could trade. Like, you don't have your opportunity cost is now gone. The Lakers are stuck, and what I mean by that is if we go over back to our trade deadline trade guide for our picks here, we go over to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers now have 0 tradable picks. They only have swap options, which I'm going to go back over to back to Twitter here just so you guys can see this. The Lakers now have 0 tradable raw first round picks. They can offer swap rights in 2026, 2028. Now, also can extend swap rights to another team in 2030. On draft night, they can offer swap rights to the 2032 first. So this is where they are left pretty vulnerable. The Lakers have now 0 tradable firsts. So there is quite a bit of risk here. But I really think I am going to go do a mock trade now that I think I would really love to see. This is like the kind of deal that if I was Atlanta, I would be pushing extremely hard for. Let's go over to the trade machine here now. Again, the Ingram trade is done. What we're going to do is we're going to get Atlanta on the phone, and we're going to get Brooklyn on the phone. This is the deal that I really want to see now that Nick Claxton's not going to be a Los Angeles Laker. And I think given this situation, the Clint Capella contract is a huge piece of this. You have Bogdan Bogdanovic's contract, and now you need to find $10 million more. Larry Nance Jr. can be a piece of this as well. This framework is one that makes sense. This also still leaves the Nets just very narrowly. Look at that, $3,000 away from the tax. So this financially works very, very tightly. But we're going to trade this, and we're going to trade this unprotected to the Nets. And in this as well, we will throw maybe one other first-round pick in this deal. We're going to do this 2020 or 2030. What we're going to do here, I think, is to be creative. We're going to do a 2030 swap option, other's choice, and we'll do a couple of 2028 seconds. This is the kind of deal that I think would make Atlanta a lot better long term. Now, this season, it is a little bit of a risk, right? You're giving up, a couple of your pieces now, and you don't have Jalen Johnson. But this is the kind of trade that I think overall would really benefit these teams in a very significant way. So, wow, what a trade deadline, guys. What a trade deadline. Remember, I'm going to be live tomorrow morning. This just in, Hornets looking for a center. Tyler says NBA is going to be so fun. It is crazy. JJ says Sheldon's going to be off that 5 hours energy tomorrow, huh? Tomorrow is going to be insane. Tomorrow is going to be quite insane. So, one, we're going to have to update the thumbnail here for this. A lot of crazy stuff, but really hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. Again, I'm not going to stay live for too much longer, maybe for like 10-15 minutes, but I hope you guys have enjoyed. Given Mark Williams' injury history, I gave up on him when he's on the court. He can play, but don't expect him to anchor the defense alone. He's young, but if you keep him healthy, GG Lakers. He's going to be, if he's healthy, he'll be awesome, and that's, I think, the piece. We'll see how this works, but okay, that's I really want Atlanta to seriously look at one of or both Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson. These two guys would be so good in Atlanta. Would be so good in Atlanta. Bradley Beal told the Suns he preferred a city with warm weather if offloaded in a deal, but there was no mutual interest with those teams. So basically, it was only Milwaukee or Chicago, which is what I've talked about for months. Mark Williams is really good. If he can stay healthy, he'll be awesome. So, Marcus says, Sheldon, is Rob Pelinka done, or do you see another move? The Lakers still have their 2025 second rounder. That's what they have. So, can you make a run at Chris Boucher? Maybe. Like that's a player that I think could help. Mark Williams a little bit defensively. Donald here says, makes me mad. My Hornets just didn't draft Dalton at 6 this past year. We drafted Tijon on potential when we should have just drafted Knecht 4. I mean, yeah, you could have walked away with McCain. You could have walked away with a variety of different really good players. There's a lot of players that I would have preferred over Tijon Salon. I had Salon 20th on my board, and I felt like that was kind of being optimistic. Wasn't a huge fan of his, so I get what you're saying here. Pork Rind says, imagine giving up a Bentley for a Ford Taurus. What the hell was Rob thinking with this trade? Dalton Knecht. I think this will make some people feel better too. I don't know if people know that, but I just thought of it. But Dalton Knecht is 8 months older than Mark Williams. So, like, if you're a Lakers fan, like you're gonna say, "Oh, we traded a rookie." Like, Dalton Knecht is literally older than Mark Williams. So, I think that was a very good trade for the Lakers. Honestly, like risky, for sure, risky, but getting a center is really, really awesome. Mike, yes, Mark Williams is healthy right now. Jay says, think there's still a lot of moves. Yeah, tomorrow's still going to be really busy. Remember, guys, tomorrow Tomorrow is the day. Okay, tomorrow is the day you need to be there, to be here specifically live tomorrow for the 2025 NBA trade deadline. And you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Over 2,000 people watching live. J.R. Karan says, I love that trade for my Nets to start their rebuild. This has been absolutely insane. The Lakers have had a tremendous deadline, honestly. The trade I'm looking for next here, guys, is this big blockbuster between Brooklyn and Atlanta. 2 first-round picks, a swap option, and 2 second-round picks in this deal. Gyro wants to know what time I'm going live tomorrow. Early in the morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, roughly. Okay, might be a little bit after that, depending on how I sleep. But Tyler says my glorious Clippers have gotten lapped so many teams so far. I really hope they make a move. We'll see what happens with the Clippers. They've already made their move, though, and I think they made it too early with the trade they made with the Jazz. Blow cool of all year, says Young at Heart. I really think this trade was a solid one. So, Packer says, what do you think the Jazz plan is moving forward? It's, again, just pick accumulation. Raisin says, bros, already 1 in the morning. Have some sleep. I do need to go to sleep. We're going to be live in like 6 hours again, which is insane. So, Prediction says, obviously, they overpay, but I guess if they think they can really contend for a title this season, it makes sense. I mean, it's not even about this season. They got a 23-year-old center to go with their 25-year-old superstar now. It's basically what Dallas was doing with Lively. So, Ed Games here says, Portland Trailblazers standing pat when they have a logjam and blocking youth. Joe Cronin should be fired. Switcher Hoops, do I think Keldon will be traded? If he is, it'll be in a deal for Cam Johnson, I'd have to bet. Justin Boyce, thank you for the 2. He says, I think it's a good trade for both teams. Appreciate you, Justin, for the super chat here. What a crazy night, guys. The trade deadline is incredible. What a trade deadline here tonight. Today, everything's been crazy. Could Bogdan go to Denver in your trade package? Hawks, Nets, Denver. Let's go back over to the trade machine. We'll try and incorporate the Nuggets. Although, again, the Nuggets have some real issues with salaries and trying to get things to work. So you'll see some of the challenges with Denver here in just a second. But the issue with Denver specifically is if we're trying to get to Bogdanovic, which Brooklyn would be okay with not getting Bogdanovic, you have to get $17 million of salary. So you do Najee to the Nets, you do Dario Saric to the Nets, and again, now you're seeing, we're still $3.2 million away. Where's that money going? It's not going to be Ross, right? It's not going to be Brown. It won't be DeRon Holmes II. So what's the salary here? And that's the issue. So that's why ultimately Bogdanovic to Denver doesn't really end up working very good. But Boucher to Denver or Phoenix. Boucher to Phoenix, I think, would make some sense. A deal that I do think is worth looking at. Real quick, we have not even talked. This is brand new. We have not talked about this one time all week long, but it's one that I think in a vacuum could make a good deal of sense. Now, financially, the numbers might not work perfectly. In fact, no, they work actually tremendously. This is like a no-brainer deal, I feel like. Who says no here? Appreciate you guys a ton. Obviously, a lot of crazy stuff. Who says no? Lester here says, I like it. John says, he's talking to Dan. Oh, yeah, Westbrook is playing, yep. Andrew F says Lakers easily won the trade. I mean, if he stays healthy, yes. Junior is not happy to see Dalton Knecht go in that deal. Sean Johnson says Knicks have to make a move for a shooting wing. We'll see. Yep, Raptors did trade for Ingram. My thoughts are over there on Twitter. Maybe Love Hate Me says, maybe Love Hate says, looks good to me. Lester says, can they add Jakob? The Spurs? Maybe. The Suns cannot. Joe says, utility, how many more years do you think the Hornets want to be bad for? Like 3. This year, next year, the year after, for sure. A lot of crazy stuff here going on. Davion Mitchell is a good man. No way the Raptors trade him for another center. I mean, they have Jamal Shed. They have a younger, probably better long-term version of him. So, I think this is a pretty good deal overall. Again, Boucher and Mitchell to Phoenix for Nurkic and a first this year, or in 2027. Citizen says, buddy, go to sleep. I'm going to have to here very soon, but I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. 2,000 people watching live. I'm going to check real quick. Jatash, thank you for sending in a super sticker. Let's get some W's in the chat for Jatash. Appreciate you, my man. You're an absolute legend. Thank you for that. Really do appreciate you guys a ton. BXNII says, what are your thoughts on a potential Marcus Smart for Bobby Portis trade that could happen? Yeah, that would have to include Connaughton's salary. It would depend on the picks, but involved. But that's something that I think would theoretically make sense for Memphis to look into doing if they can get some kind of asset out of that. Appreciate you guys all a ton. What I want you guys to do right now, make sure to smash that like button, and if you're brand new here to Utility Sports, make sure to subscribe. We're going to go over to Twitter one more time here real quick. Again, here's that trade that I was just talking about. We'll see what happens with all of that, but we're going to head over here now to what we're going to head to over here is where is it? There it is. We're going to update the subscriber count there. 30,917 subscribers. We are this close to 31,000. Keep pushing that direction. Kirk here says, does the league like try and force any NBA championships? No, I don't think so. ETN Catalan said that's about to be a long day. Yeah, it's going to be a long day for him. For sure, he does jersey mock-ups. Alex says, is Houston planning something bigger with Jaden Springer's $4 million expiring salary? No, not necessarily. I would say the other salaries on their roster are the ones to watch. It could be, right? It could be. I don't want to say like, no, definitively not, but it definitely possibly could be. Appreciate you guys all a ton. David here says Mavs trade was such an inside job. It was that bad. It seems like it. Dude, GM try and give Lakers a title. I don't know. These trades, that trade I thought was fairly risky for both sides in a good way. A lot of fun. Emily here says, do you think Bradley Beal gets traded? No, Beal will not get traded, Emily. Mets here says, what about candidates can the Lakers target after the deadline? Well, it depends on who gets bought out. We'll have to see. There's a variety of different players who might or might not. Zach says, just got back. What are you still doing live? We're pushing to 31,000, Zach. We're about to wrap up here. But again, the trade Dalton Knecht for Mark Williams was a huge deal, an absolutely huge deal. So do appreciate you guys a ton. You've been absolutely awesome supporting me over here on the channel. And again, the next trade that I really want to see going into tomorrow, remember, we're going to be live all day tomorrow, the entire day. So I better get some sleep here soon. But we're going to be live all day tomorrow. And remember, the big trade that I want to see going forward is this one right here. In the top left, that's Clint Capella, by the way. My face is blocking it. Let me do this. There we go. Clint Capella and all of those picks, 2 seconds, 2 firsts, a swap option for Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson. Something like that is the type of deal I really want to see. Would just be really, really wonderful. So Zachary here says, congrats on 30K. Appreciate you, Zach. Very, very happy about that. Marcus Smart likely on the move. Definitely could be going to Brooklyn. It would be another interesting spot. Here, Andrew F says, Lakers S+ deadline. Porkrind says, I believe AD is a better player overall than Luka. The Lakers are going to tank. I don't think that is the truth at all for Anthony Davis. I don't think AD is better than Luka, but to each their own. Top 3 fits for Vucevic. Golden State, Golden State, Golden State. That kind of seems like the one spot where he could probably go at this point. You never know, but Tom right now wants to know if the Blazers are doing anything. Probably not anything huge, but again, I would love for them to get something done for Ayton if they could find a deal, but I don't think there will be one. We'll see, though. Meeks here says, can trades happen at any time within the next few hours? Also, get some sleep, my friend. We need you fired up for some big moves tomorrow. I will be fired up. Harold says, this fool said he's the Lakers going to tank. Yeah, it's not going to happen. They've got Luka Doncic and LeBron, and they've got now Mark Williams. So Mike says, Atlanta giving away more picks. Their GM is seriously betting his job on that move, even after the Daniels heist. Well, that's kind of the idea, right? You have Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton. That's a pretty freaking wicked starting 5. I like that starting 5. That fits all together pretty damn well. You have an awesome rim rolling big in Claxton. He's 25 years old. The oldest player in that lineup is Cam Johnson at 28. That's like 4 or 5 years of a lineup right there. You just keep everybody. And a lot of them are under contract. Claxton, descending contract. Cam Johnson, kind of a flat contract. Wonderful. It would be so good for Atlanta. I'd be so stoked for the Hawks. So that's the kind of deal I would want to see get done. But I'm very excited. Very, very stoked. Obviously a crazy day here. But again, I appreciate you guys. I wish I could stay up all night. I really do. But I'm honestly so gassed. I am out of gas. I've been live for 14 hours today now. 14 hours of live streams. Again, this is a risk, but their belief is, just like they did with Anthony Davis, they can get him to be healthy and play a ton. Gremlin says, finally Vassell's the number 3 option. Yes, that looked a lot better tonight, too. Fox looked quite good in his debut. So Cole Stubbs says, does LA go get a 4 so LeBron can play the 3? That's what I think they're missing right now. Chris Boucher would be an awesome one. Chris Boucher would be awesome. Danny Lewis says, I think Lakers need another center. Appreciate you guys a lot. Again, quick one little check-in back over here to the subscription tally. We are just 60 subscribers away from 31,000. Hopefully we hit it tomorrow, guys. Appreciate you all so much. Really did appreciate having you guys. Let's get some confetti in here for the big trades tonight. Again, what a crazy turn of events. Remember, live tomorrow for the 2025 NBA trade deadline. Let's get some lasers shooting in here for some hype too. What a day. What a crazy day. I will be live tomorrow. Please, guys, make sure you hit that notification bell right now. Leave a like on the stream too, so that you guys don't miss out on it, okay? Again, appreciate you all so much, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.